Hey everybody, today we're going to do a part two video to the one I did about when I lost the contracts, groundskeeping contracts I had for one of them I had for 17 years. Did a small video on it. I actually did get some feedback from other business owners, and they kind of pretty much, I got a couple emails. A couple people got a hold of me on YouTube itself. They told me it's the same things happen in their area. They're losing contracts to these big management companies, and they really do bad. They don't do a good job when they take these parking lots over and maintenance, lawn maintenance, and everything. My experience, like I said, a couple of the contracts I lost a few years ago, the pricing sheet they got back to me with, I wouldn't even be interested in doing it. It was so much less money than I was getting paid from the actual business when I was doing it for them. So these management companies are coming in and telling this company, hey, what's the guy doing it for now? We'll save you some money. And then they try. I thought at one time, the last video, I thought that these companies were coming in probably wanting to get 35% of the pie. I think they're taking about 50, and then they're finding guys. They think they're going to find guys like me, anyways, that will take it for less than they had it for. But since that last video, I ended up getting one of the contracts back. So the manager that I've been dealing with through the main branch that owns all these outbuildings went to bat for me when he found out. He had no idea. This is another thing that you've got to think's funny with these companies. Companies are micromanaged to the point where he didn't even know I got that call. And he goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "I got a call saying I was no longer needed for this property and this property." He's like, basically like, "Let me get back to you." He calls me right back, pretty much said they didn't even have the right to take one of them away, and I don't. I'll let you know tomorrow, but please keep on plowing it if we get a snowstorm. I said, all right. He said, the other one I'm not sure about. I know we're finding out now what it is they had another company take over the properties that were for sale. One of my buildings was for sale, the other one wasn't. So the next morning I got a call from him, which was a good feeling. He gave me that contract back, which was to hire the two pay-wise, which was good. Even he thought it was a raw deal that they would take a contract away from me a third of the way in the winter. But I'm not getting the other one that I had for 17 years. I'm not too concerned about it. But why I'm doing this video is 3 or 4 days after that happened, we had a snowstorm. Next morning, after the snowstorm, I get a call from one of the other people in that business park. And he's like, hey, he says, did you have a breakdown or something? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, nothing's plowed. He said, I even had to plow the main entrance into the park. And I said, no, I'm no longer doing that. He's like, what do you mean? And I explained to him what happened, and he come unhinged. The management company that took over doesn't realize that they're responsible for the main entrance to this small industrial park. Part of the deal was the guy on the left gave up some land. Part of that deal was they paid him for the land and to put a center right away because this comes off a state road. So part of that deal was, and I believe there's a contract that says that, they're responsible for plowing all the way into this industrial park. Now, he's like, I don't mind giving up some land and putting a center entryway in, but I don't want to be responsible insurance-wise, liability-wise, or like paving it or anything. So the deal was for them to build this complex they put in there years ago, which I'm going to guess was probably 24 years ago now. They had the hot top, and it came out onto a state road, so there had to be like 4 lanes and a left lane, right lane, because it's a major, I think it's a 3-lane highway in a sense, I guess you'd call it, but you had to have the arrow stop signs, hot top. He said, I'm not doing all that. I don't want nothing to do with that. If you're willing to do that, I'll sell you the land or whatever they ended up doing for an agreement. But so he called up pretty upset to this management company. The funny part about it is that management company, after they got the phone call from him, called me. Oh, you got to get over there and plow that. I'm like, no. I said, I'm not going to plow it. I said, right now, someone owes me. Originally, I thought I had lost both, and it was in the middle of a month. So, as far as I was concerned, I get paid so much a month to plow these complexes. I wanted to know who was paying me that because no one could give me the answer. The guy that I've been doing this, the manager I used to call when I had an issue was the one that would say yes or no. Like if I needed extra money to do something, he'd give me a PO basically. He wasn't sure. He really didn't even know they were hiring this other company. So I'm like, I'm not plowing it unless I know I'm getting paid. Plus, I'm already owed money that no one seems to know if I'm even going to receive. I didn't plow it. So an hour after that, I get a call from another company. So come to find out, the company that took the original contract hired another company that was actually going to have a plow person. And we're almost thinking there's 3 different maintenance companies involved, plus the big company that took the contract, because their closest branch is Portland, Maine. So they basically try to find a local contractor. Well, I think another local contractor found another local contractor until they found the point. Because we're already a third of the way in the winter, so most guys already have all they want on their plate. So I think they had to search around basically until someone said, yeah, we'll go plow it. Well, guess what? First storm, no one plows it. The guy's a no-show. So they're begging me to go plow it, and I wouldn't do it. Then I get a call back. I don't know what it was, 3 or 4 calls that day from different managers saying, hey, go plow it. We'll make sure you get paid. I said, unless someone can guarantee me, I said, pretty much I'm going to go there with a bill. I want someone from this company to sign it, and I want to get paid within 30 days. No one could guarantee that to me, so I wouldn't do it. I'm glad I didn't, because I think I would have been chasing money. But I do know years ago that happened. I did a gas station because someone's contract ran out. They couldn't get the guy to come plow it. It was a pretty major snowstorm in April. I went in and plowed it, and I had the manager that was at the gas station store sign my bill that day. If I wouldn't have done that, I didn't get paid for 6 months. And the day they called me and basically said, well, we don't know if we're gonna have to pay you. When I let them know that the manager of the gas station signed it, all of a sudden I get a call back 15 minutes later saying that I would have a check by Friday. So the biggest thing, if you're going to get involved with a company like that, is always have whoever's on site sign something in a case like that. And it worked out for me. You find out these companies just ain't set up. And the reason I'm doing this video so quick, I'm going to call this part 2 to the original video on when I lost these contracts. What made me do this video today is this week we also got a phone call from another company that does the same thing. They're, I believe, out of Manchester, New Hampshire, which is a good ride away from here. They're looking for someone local to take over some businesses, and they gave me an area. I'm in Carroll County, New Hampshire. My wife said, tell you what, just for chuckles and giggles, my wife's like, I figured you'd want to see it. She said, email me a price list of what you pay to do these lots in the areas that you're looking in. So they 2 hours later, she gets this big email, and it shows the areas that they want me to go, which some of them are pretty far into Maine. Like some of them are probably an hour and 15 minutes. Seeing if I'm interested in plowing gas stations and storefronts. I believe a couple of them were post offices. And then she said, well, I also want a price sheet. So they sent the price sheet. And the reason they're having a hard time getting people to do these is these are contracts, like a plow contract in a small parking lot. When you have to have, let's say, a $2 million policy so someone slips and falls, and you normally have to show proof of that policy before you get the contract. That's the way it used to be for years. I've been doing this for 25 years. And I think what's happening now is there's just so many guys doing this that don't have insurance and stuff like that. The price, I can't believe they're finding anybody, put it that way. I get a price, they want you to do a major parking lot now for $65 to $68 per time you plow it. So let's say the contract says they want you to go in and plow it every 2 to 4 inches or whatnot. So every time you go in, you get $68. You get paid that to do a driveway. Forget going and plow a parking lot to, let's say, 40 parking spaces. And you also got wheelchair, entrance areas with ramps and everything. I'm looking at some of these properties. So then they want you to take a before and after picture every time you plow it. Then there's $54 more available if you're willing to do the walkways. But it's just not enough money. That's why I say it's not working from what I see. I'm surprised they're getting away with it. But to me, I can't believe these places don't get sued. Me and my wife went in today, and we basically went to a post office. This is 3 or 4 days after a storm. Someone comes there in a wheelchair, there's no access to get into that post office. That's how bad the wheelchair area, there's a ramp that goes up onto the crosswalk. There was snow probably 6 or 8 inches deep, height-wise, and 4 or 5 feet into that ramp. It ain't like someone with a wheelchair can push through an area. There's no way without help they would have got up. Now I understand though, like that guy probably can't get paid to come back and just clean up areas. Like same thing where all the cars were parked, the last time he plowed it is still all snow. But now, I always think these guys are horrible at what they do, but I understand now, if you're not gonna get paid, why would you go back? Even the area where the cars were parked, there's a whole row that snow never got plowed. I don't think it got plowed the last 2 storms, because he's probably plowing it during business hours and doesn't wanna come back. They probably won't pay him to come back and do a spot plow, basically do the areas at night. And so now I understand that a little bit more. I don't know how they're getting away with it. I'm putting this video out there just to get some more. I'd like to see more people get a hold of me. I had a handful of people get a hold of me saying, yeah, the same thing's going on in my area. Like one pretty much when I put the video out, I had a guy from southern New Hampshire that got right back to me, but I've had since then a handful of people have told me their experience, and it's the same thing. They're losing a parking lot just like I did, that I took a little bit of pride in. It always looked well. I always did shrubs. I probably did a little extra, if anything, especially where it was in my town. Anything I do, I feel my name's on. So that's how I look at it. I have a little bit of pride in anything I do. These big companies come in and take over, and the stuff looks like crap. So we'll see what happens. But I wanted to fill people in on what happened. Literally the first storm, the guy that took the contract was a no-show. I'm like, I just want to see what other people's experience in a broader area, I'm hoping. So, everybody that got back to me was New Hampshire and Maine. These companies normally do offer you up. If you want to keep doing it, this is what you get. And it's like a joke. People got to pay attention a little more. I'm hoping it doesn't work. I don't like how these big management companies, I understand it more on the snow removal, that in a big parking lot, you got to have a big contractor that has loaders and stuff like that. I understand that more, like big shopping centers. I don't understand how it's working in these small, storefronts, gas stations, stuff like that. You got gas pumps where hundreds of people a day are pulling in and could slip and fall. You'd think you'd be a little more nervous of it. The big mall parking lots you see get done, normally they're blasting the salt and calcium out to the point where there's no big buildup. And the contract's big enough so you're getting paid to do that. I know what the price sheet I got from this other company this week is no way. There's no way someone's going to go do it and do it right. And maybe that's why, like I said, here we are halfway. I'm going to say halfway through winter now in New England, and this company is just getting hold of me this week about taking. It was major. It was. I think it was one sheet was like 15 to 20 sites they're looking to get plowed. How are you looking for someone to plow a site right now in the middle of winter? It's just like, because the other guy quit is what happened, because he's realizing there's no money in it. And another thing that's happening this year, like all my contracts have always been, I get paid so much a month through the plow season. So my plow contracts are normally, I get paid this much a month for 5 months, and you say yes or no to it. Most of these companies want me to take over, and I only get paid the day it snowed and I plow it. Other than that, there's no guarantee. And this year we've had very mild winter, not a lot of snowstorms. So a guy that's doing it per storm's losing money, especially if you got extra guys hired to do shoveling and stuff like that. If I was younger, I would probably get more involved, but I'm in my 50s and I just don't want the headache of hiring 6 or 7 guys. I've even had some of the companies that do the malls call me to see if I would take my equipment and leave them on. I just don't want to do it. Like, I like staying close to home. I'm going to do what I can here. Right now, I still got enough going on where I'm happy. Like I said, losing that one contract, it hurt because it was a 17-year-long contract I had. But now it's gone. The pressure that got lifted off me in my 50s is probably not. My wife's happy. And I'm happy, to be honest with you. It really, I can't believe how much time it freed up during a storm. I was in a situation where if I had a breakdown, like if a plow broke, I was racing home to unhook, hook to another plow, or getting another truck with a plow. I don't have that worry now. I got enough time now, so I'm not trying to drive through the middle of a snowstorm flying to my next lot that I got to do. So, but anyways, I wanted to do this video, see what the feedback would be. And again, I'm going to say, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. This is a little bit different. It's really upsetting me that, how slack that stuff like this is getting, and how bad you can do a job and still get paid, but you're just not getting paid enough. I think that's why the guys are taking that Now I'm finding more, I've done a lot more digging into this type of stuff since that. And I just think it comes down to you're not getting paid enough, so you're doing a half job, to put it bluntly. I just don't want my name on something like that, so it's never going to work for me. But I'd like to think this system's going to go away and it's going to go back to where small companies go in and get these contracts. We'll see what happens. But again, if you can like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it to grow the channel. If you don't want to subscribe, even hitting the like button helps me. And I'm going to say thanks for watching.